The current generation Ford Focus was far and away the class leader when it was introduced back in 2012. Since then, it's been overshadowed by some newer competitors like the Mazda 3, Volkswagen Golf, Kia Forte, and to a lesser extent, the Honda Civic. For 2015, it receives a variety of updates that help keep it fresh and address a few problem areas. Although you can probably tell the exterior styling refinements that make it look a bit more like a Fusion, the bigger changes are in the cabin. The overall design is the same, and so too are the above-average cabin materials. These controls have been overhauled to actually be, usable. Now this is the base system, which is especially improved with more sensibly laid out buttons. There's also the upgraded, optional MyFord Touch touchscreen system, which isn't as bad as you might have heard. In total, the Focus's tech interfaces work well enough, but the systems in the Mazda 3 and Forte in particular are easier to use. One area Ford couldn't address with the 2015 update is rear seat space. 10 years ago, it would have been great for a compact car, but today, all of those aforementioned competitors are more spacious. Space up front is just fine though, with comfortable seats and controls that fall nicely at hand. Unfortunately, the center console is wide and your leg tends to bump into it. There's also not many bins and cubbies to store your stuff. Ford made some adjustments to the suspension as well, but the Focus still has one of the most impressively comfortable rides in the compact segment. The cabin is also very quiet. Handling is just okay. It really depends on the type of tires you put on. It's hard to beat the steering's feedback and spot-on weighting in the segment. The Focus comes standard with a 160 horsepower 4-cylinder. There's an easy-to-shift 5-speed manual available and a 6-speed dual-clutch automated manual that has thankfully been greatly improved for 2015. It no longer lurches and jerks you about in traffic or when parking. Fuel economy is a bit lower than its competitors, but we still managed an excellent 42 miles per gallon on the Edmunds evaluation route. New for 2015 though is this SE EcoBoost trim and its tiny 1-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine. You can only get it with a 6-speed manual though, and although it ups fuel economy by 2 miles per gallon, we found it a bit difficult to drive smoothly and it's considerably slower. The standard engine isn't exactly a track star either, but it's sufficient for the segment and it's the one we get. Now, for those looking for true turbocharged performance, there's the Focus ST. It too was updated for 2015, but by and large, it's similar to the car that we reviewed last year. There's also a Focus Electric that's worth a look. As for value, the Focus has a lower base price than many rivals, but even with more equipment for 2015, it tends to cost more when similarly equipped. Perhaps its added refinement and comfort should count for something, but rivals like the Forte, Civic, and Mazda 3 do give you more bang for your buck. The Focus is definitely one of our recommended compact sedans. It's still worth checking out those rivals, and hey, why not watch our reviews of the Forte, the Mazda 3, and our comparison between the Focus ST and the GTI.